Okay, well, I think you've got me. To carry on with the Cullinan theme, we did Cullinan 1 in a very nice quartz. So that was received quite well, other than some interesting comments from most of my relatives, with things like Diamond Geezer and what a fascinating chap and all that sort of stuff. Those aren't real comments, those are my family taking the piddle. Anyway, ignore them. Love them, of course. So what we're going to do now is the Cullinan 4, which should, in theory, be far simpler than the first one that we did. So this is what we're going to have a go at now. This is the piece that we're going to use. It needs to be fairly chunky because the design is fairly chunky. So let's get on with it. The usual process. Let's start with just trying to square it off. It's got a length to width ratio of 1, so it's basically got to be a square before you start. And the whole thing is a sort of square, so it should follow a pattern. Should be far easier than the odd shaped Cullinan 1. Here's hoping. It was a challenge, it turned out okay. So let's go. There's a couple of little issues in there I can see, but we'll see if we can cut around those. Let's make a start. I think you can pretty much see everything. So I've got a 100 disc on here just to put some squaring off in. This obviously being a 100 disc is going to be very, very noisy. So I'll make a start and then come back to you when we're squared off. We'll do a rough square by hand and then we'll put it on a dot and get an exact square out of it. Right, we got it to a rough square. What we're going to do then is just put a dot on it and let that dry off, and then we'll start getting it into an exact square. I think you can see the little bit of an issue that we have there, but when you're dealing with real quartz, you're going to have some flaws in it, so we might have to try and get a slightly smaller stone out of it. But the idea here is to try and be accurate, so I'm going to start squaring it off actually on the machine. Now if we end up with a little bit of a sort of inclusion in it, so be it. That's what happens when you use real gems. Right, so we're squared off, dot and ready. We've made it as accurate a square as possible, and we're going to start with the pavilion. And what I'm going to do is just facet the first lot of pavilion facets till they all reach a central point, and we're working from that. So let's go. Could be noisy, but I'll just start on using a slightly softer disc just to show you the process. Softer disc, less harsh. First facet is 96, and there's an awful lot of material to get rid of. Okay, so you can see how the first four are beginning to lay in and head towards the point. The way I'm faceting on the edge like that is not the way to do it on a delicate stone, but I'm doing it on this quartz because what it's doing is it's cutting harshly, and I have so much meat to get through that cutting harshly and quickly on the first few passes, in my mind, is an acceptable thing to do. Obviously you must do it your own way. Some people have the patience to do that for hours, I don't. But what I do is I get very cautious with it when we get close to where we want to be, and I swap out from a 100 disc to a 240 disc to a 600 disc. But what we're doing now is literally cutting off the first bits of stone. Anyway, I'll carry on. Okay, so we're getting near. Still quite a bit to get through, but I'm now going to swap out onto a 240 disc because we don't want to have any internal chipping. We've chopped an awful lot of the stone away. We're beginning to get the shape properly. Let's do this. Hear that? That's the point we're trying to get to. Yeah, we're there. Next one. 72. So we've got to that point now where we have a point and we have nice facets. Right, first lot of facets in, looking good, to a beautiful culate point. And I think that'll do for tonight because Coronation Street's about to finish and I better keep the wife company. But that's the first lot of facets in the Cullinan. Not only the first lot, but 100 disc, 240 disc, 600 disc, and looking good. Righto, that'll do for tonight. Pick it up again tomorrow. Over now. Okay, next lot 46. girdle now. Done at 90 degrees. And the wife's just come home, so hello! This will be it for now. What? Oh, I expected. She's only being nice to me because we're on camera.
No, I'm not.
Too. Right, off we go.
You can stay there as long as you like.
Don't
Because
believe
I'm a
her.
lovely little boy. Behind every good man is a good woman.
And on that ball poo, we'll sign off. Okay, so we have rough shape, rough facets, looking very good. What I'm going to do now is just go around every one with a fine disc, straighten it all up, make it true, and see how we get on. Should be fun. It's looking good. Not there yet, but it's looking good. Right, so we're on the third facet on the crown, and you can see we're just putting one facet in there at the top that's going to go to the girdle line. Set it at an accurate 0. Protractor angle. And let's go. Take it to 96 because that's where most people do the table from. Okay. Ready for polishing. And then we'll flip it and finish off the pavilion I thought I knew better and started with the pavilion, which is what I do traditionally. But obviously we needed to start with the crown because the pavilion wasn't coming in as it should do. Still might not. I still think it's going to be a nice stone. That'll do for tonight, folks. Putting in 5 minutes before I gotta go to work. We're just polishing the table. It's beginning to look really good. So this is the girdle. A lot of this is going to disappear. Right, we're ready to flip it and just try to properly finish off the pavilion. We've got plenty of girdle there to play with, which is now all polished. Should be a nice stone. Time will tell. We're done. We just run it through the polisher, get it off, and I'll show you the final result. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me and keeps the channel out there. And comment if you wish, and also pass it on to somebody you think might be interested. That would be great. Thanks for watching. For the next project, I'm going to do, I hope, the Hope Diamond. What I'm waiting for is some dark blue obsidian because it's a dark blue. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. Bye.